Welcome to the experience. If you are watching this video, you're part of the Experience Unique team. My name is Delene Richter and I am the training officer of this team. Today we are welcoming two guests, Angelique de Tooy and Siska Swanepoel, and we say thank you to them for sharing their tips on social media. Today they are talking about strategic client mapping. Enjoy their tips.
Strategic means that you've got a plan, you've put it down, you work smart, not hard, not trying to do it 24/7, not getting sleep in, because sleep is just as important in your strategic plan to kind of live and to produce at that level, because you also need to enjoy what you're doing, because that's a beautiful part about our industry. So from a strategic side, when we look at client mapping, what is client mapping?
Client mapping is something I learned a couple of years ago in this beautiful industry. And the example I use is if everyone had a potato, and we looked at our potato and we were very familiar with our potato, but we all put our potatoes in a very big bowl. And we mixed those potatoes up, and I asked every single person who is with us today to go and choose your own potato. You would never know which potato is yours. And that is the danger that happens when, or could potentially happen, when we lose connection with who our client really is. And we know that technology has its wonderful place, but in direct selling, technology can also take the place of face-to-face. And we need to be very sure that we don't lose sight of our potato. And so we need to put a face to our client base. And the way to remember this is I need to put a face on every potato that I have so that I can distinguish Mary Ann from Susan from Anne. And I know that that is who I'm dealing with when I'm connecting with them. So client mapping, and I've just got a couple of things that I'd like to go through with you on that is, do you really know your client? Do you really know who your next recruit is? Do you even know that this current client might be desperate to become one of your team members, but she maybe has just never had the courage to raise it with you, and maybe you've never discussed it with her because you could have perhaps assumed she doesn't need the money. But do you really know? And you won't know until you start having the conversation. But you can't have the intelligent conversation if you don't know the potato that you're dealing with, which is why you need to put a face to your client base. Do you even know who your team members are? Or do you just know them by name? Do you just know them by number? Do you just know them by what they sell, what they produce? Or do you really know them? Do you know what work they're involved in? Do you know what their lifestyles are like? Do you know if they're married, divorced? Do you know if they've just gone through a recent tragedy? Do you know the ages of their children? Because all of these, and the wonderful thing about life and business is all of these give you the clue about what to do. So the more information I have, I mean, this is strategy 101. The more information I have, the better equipped I am to meet the need. And the wonderful thing is, if you find a need in someone's life and you successfully fill it, you'll never fail and you'll never be out of business. Because if you're in tune enough with your clients to know what is going on in their lives. Now, I'm not saying pry, and I'm not saying, get them to unpack uncomfortably. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying make it your professional interest to find out about the people in your business. And when you can hit the mark by saying, I know you've gone through a pretty stressful situation in the last 2 months. Have you thought of using this product? Because I can tell you from experience, this is what it's done. What have I just done? In one little moment in time, I've met a need. First of all, she knows I care. Secondly, I've got a solution to her problem, and isn't that just what sales is all about? We don't have to sell a thing. We just have to find a solution for somebody's need. And then thirdly, she's saying, this woman really cares about me. This person really cares about my situation. And so if that is the truth, then to look at it and say, perhaps it's about caring more about my client rather than pushing the sale to make up the numbers that I'm required and of course must make up, because that's your business. We're all in business for a very specific reason, and that is to grow, to develop, but to make a profit. Because without a profit, you can never sow back into anything, because you cannot give what you do not have. So for me, client mapping is about when I know who is in my network, I'm then able to more readily and more smartly access her network. And remember, the size of my network determines the size of my net worth. If I know that she's a sports person and she belongs to a sports club, why don't I say, can I come with you and perhaps just share some of these amazing products that we've got that would really meet the woman in your sports club? And suddenly I've accessed a new network. And then perhaps looking at the network, once we've done our homework, is to say, what are the different groups that I have got in my network? Who are my health groups? Who are my beauty groups? Who are my earnings needs groups? Who are my ones that are just, I can see them bubbling under? These are my girls that are just potential personified, that I need to create some new opportunities for them. But you see, we'll only know that, Siska, when we step back, we take a helicopter view and we map out, like mapping out the land beneath you. Who is in my business? Who is with me? Who have I got the privilege of serving? And what can I do differently? Suddenly your business takes on a whole new dimension, because you're taking the time to find out who your potatoes are. And when you've got that beautiful big bowl of potatoes and you can pick up Jane and you can meet Jane's needs, suddenly your life and your business takes on a different trajectory. So it's a very, very powerful way to spend time, to access your own business, to revisit your own business, and to unlock that potential.
That is such a good practical tool to implement in your business, because for me, what I took out of what you just said now is client mapping will help you when you implement that in your business, that you don't bombard all your customers every week with specials and WhatsApps and things like that so that they almost want to block you. It will help you to build a business, to build a relationship, to build that bridge again that we spoke about of potential to fulfill somebody's need. If I think of what you mentioned about the kids, when you know somebody's got high school kids, you know when the exams are. So that is the time to talk to them about the right products to have in their hands to use for the kids to help with the concentration, to add value to their lives, to add to their need. And that's what the client mapping is doing. And then on the other side, when you start looking at certain areas like health or skincare or beauty, makeup side, if you see when you do your client mapping, there's a gap in your area where you only have like 1% of your customers are playing in that area. It's not like you need to convert these customers into that area. You actually need to go and find new customers that can fill that pool, because that is where you're going to grow your network, which means you will grow your net worth. Am I correct?
Lovely point. I really love the point that you make about not bombarding the same people with all of the information all of the time, because if I am strategically marketed to, it makes me feel that somebody knows me. Whereas if I'm getting, adverts for things that, for example, if I had a baby, well, I don't have a baby. I'm long past that. So it's not strategically focused. But the wonderful thing about direct selling is you can really get laser focused on your network. And what you say is perfect truth for this industry. We've really got to care enough, to take the time enough to say, how do I meet the current needs? And then to your second point is, let me go and find some new potatoes in the field.
Thank you for watching this video with us. From the leadership team, enjoy your unique business and see you next time.